So kind of to summarize, generally the strategy should be go in and identify these issue areas that need to be addressed locally, things that, you don't really want to tackle as part of a broader dodging and burning, because for two reasons. One is we want to be able to clip and correct those areas individually without, kind of doing too much masking. And secondly, something like this, where we had under the eye, that requires a really steep curve to get rid of that luminosity, right? I mean, it was very dark, and we want to bring it back to kind of match the remaining skin tone. So we don't want that aggressive curve on our global dodge and burn, because then it's, hypersensitive, and, we have to be very careful when we're fixing minute issues. But for that, we do need the aggressive curve. So each area will require a greater or lesser degree of, luminosity shift. So when there's stuff like that, fix it locally, separately, outside of the rest of your dodging and burning. So that's kind of the two reasons why we want to tackle that separately. And once you've dealt with those issues and we fix them, then at that point, we create our normal fixer stack, do our corrective dodging and burning for the remaining areas. So something like, under this eye here, we're going to fix all of these little patches on the forehead. Under the eye there, this little patch. We're going to fine tune some of this so we don't have these spots. We're going to make it flow together. And again, little things here and there. These are all things that we need to address now that we've corrected sort of the bigger problems. And then, of course, once we're done with that, we move on to globally dodging and burning, or contouring, to give the image a little bit more depth and dimension. And then, of course, beyond that, which we haven't covered in this course, are things like color grading and then fine-tuning, adding grain, all that important stuff as well to kind of take your image to the final level. Now, if this was a black and white image, obviously things are very different. We could probably address most of these things with one layer. You'd maybe want to just create one grouping called aggressive dodge and burn, and that has a very steep curve for the dodge and the burn, and then kind of fix, this area here, and then fix the under eye area, and then just have your normal corrected dodge and burn, because at that point we're not worried about clipping color adjustments. It's just going to be, fix our luminosities, make everything look good, and that's all we're concerned about. So with dodge and burn in a black and white context, you may even want to just use a regular black and white adjustment layer and kind of get it as close as possible to what you want your final, black and white to look like, and then just kind of work on fixing the luminosity so everything flows together nicely. So that's really the only difference between black and white and color, is that, you've got less to do in the black and white, but at the same time you have to be more careful because the luminosity shifts are more noticeable. So you have to be more careful with your dodging and burning, but you save time on the color adjustments. So that's just kind of something to factor in when you're working in a black and white sort of situation. So I hope you found this course helpful, and really dodge and burn is an extremely important thing to learn. So, as you can see, we've done a lot using essentially just a curve, selective color, and hue saturation. Those are sort of three things that we've done here with masking, and it can do so much. So that's why it really is powerful, and it's definitely the most sort of important tool that you can learn as a professional retoucher. So hopefully this course will kind of get you to a point where you're more comfortable with dodging, burning, and making those color adjustments. And we'll see you in future lessons here at Retouching Academy. Thanks again for watching.